Hello,
You do this
hello,
thing.
everyone. Sorry we're starting a little late. Nature calleth, we listened, and unfortunately there was a line for the bathroom door. Such is the life of living in where we are. I hope everyone's day has been awesome. We're back on the Bun Buns. Tonight is a lot of class quests. And more class quests than that.
More job quests than you can shake a stick at.
Well, since we're kind of in the Gridania region, do we want to start with White Mage, since we both have that one?
Seems good.
You'll need to flip to White Mage for that. I thought I sent you a party invite. Did it expire?
If you sent one, it expired.
There we go. Oh, showy me off. Yeah, just before now, we did a whole, kind of hour and a half worth of beating up on Byakko, who is one of the 4 auspices, for a doggo mount, and he refused to drop the mount. We are very grumpy because this is the second day we've done farming on him, and he has dropped nothing.
Well, he just kind of looks at us and say, "What do you want with a dog mount? I'm a tiger."
It's actually a very fun and cool fight, but it kind of turned epic on a couple occasions.
Yeah.
Not sure why it turned epic, but it did. At least one of those epics we've recovered from, sort of. Otherwise, in very interesting news, the other night, Theron went into Heaven on High on a solo run as Dragoon. He actually ended up on the leaderboard, which amazed me. He also ended up not being in dead last place on the leaderboard, which amazed me even more.
You weren't even in the bottom 5.
Yeah, I was like 19 of 25.
Something like that, yeah.
On my first attempt. It's like, whoa.
She might say something about how many people are trying it with Dragoon.
Well, melee DPS does have it rough.
Mm-hmm.
So, I've started a new run solo, doing it as a warrior because that's what I'm most comfy at. See how that goes. See if it does a little better than I've been doing on Gunbreaker, which I do like Gunbreaker. It's just Warrior's like this kind of comfy old glove that you've broken in like decades ago. We'll see how that goes. I mean, one of these days I'm gonna hit the top. Of course, I need to do it 4 times if I want to get the mount.
Fun.
Hmm?
Yeah, have fun.
Hello, Eorzea.
Oh, brother, where art thou? Eorzea would ask a favor of you.
Oh, and this gets us to Cure 3, which is kind of... It is a dangerous spell. I'll explain why after we get it.
Oh dear.
Rena, Ladonia, I owe you an apology. When last we spoke, I promised that I would find a way to convince my brother to accept you, but I fear he intently refuses to heed my words. Why, the more I try to reason with him, the more he shuts his ears to me. All the pride and no common sense, that one. I can scarce believe we are kin. So intent is he to prove that you are unneeded that he dashed off into the forest alone, boasting that he would placate every last elemental and save the forest by himself. Needless to say, such a task is far beyond his power. There are part of me that would like nothing more than to see his foolish boy learn his lesson, and yet, as a sister, I fear for him. Would you go look after him, Rena, Ladonia? Seats here or no, he may in many ways still be a child, and the forest grows even more unsafe these days. I thought to go myself, but if you two were to save my brother from his own recklessness, perhaps he might finally see how fractious he has been. When I last spoke with him, he announced his intentions to begin the efforts in Bramble Patch. With any luck, you may still find him there. Now please go in haste, and before some ill fate befalls him.
Here too, okay.
Off to the Bramble Patch we go! Zoom! Yeah, Baron did not walk through the door until very, very late last night.
Yeah.
I was actually starting to get worried, and then he showed up, and I'm like, okay, we're good. We're safe. We can deal with this. Yep. That it is. Being Monday, that is.
Sadly, yes. How dare it?
Monday means accounting. Whee! Why can't I just,
That
like,
too.
send all the accounting issues to Construct 8?
He'd send it back marked up with a bunch of red ink on not enough prime numbers. Ow.
That is probably true. Freaking lighthouse. Oh man, that was an interesting run this afternoon. I am very grateful that I was able to boil down his mech in like 2 sentences. Because his mech is crazy sauce. Okay, Aaron.
Huh. If it isn't my sister's favorite adventurer. Come to show me up, have you? Well, you can march right back and tell sister that I'm doing just fine. I'm only resting. Even if I were hurt and unable to placate this tree, what could a run-of-the-mill adventurer like you two do about it? Yeah,
Watch
well,
us.
First of all, we avoid the swollen Jigga.
But he wants to jig-a-jig.
Oh, and also, placate the tree.
Oh, right. Forgot a step. My bad.
Takes a lot of placating. Beginner's luck. If you think healing a sapling or two is going to convince me that you are worthy inheritors to the teaching of Master Eorzea,
I ruined... Ah! That went by too fast.
Yeah.
Actually, let's see if I can pull it up real quick. Hold on.
There. That was way too fast.
Yeah, that was way too fast. Continue.
Sister, what are you doing here?
Seeing to my pig-headed brother's safety. What do you think I'm doing? For better or worse, it would appear you only suffered from bruises to your leg and your pride. Hey, Rune, for all your obstinacy, I know that deep down you are no fool. No, you are wise beyond your years. You realize as well as I that the dire fate would befall Gridania if we do not quell the Great One's fury and restore peace to the woods. The adventurers is not a Pagel, this is true, but what of it? Would you blindly trump tradition as the very force turns against us and brings ruin to our home? We have a greater calling to answer. You know this.
I do, sister. Ejected Pagel.
Ah, my dear Aaron, what are sisters for if to not to forgive their little brother's fits of folly? Now, Rena, I do believe the most important task of all still awaits us. Let us return to Camp Tranquil. Go here, kill that, come here, kill this.
Pretty much.
We knew the job was dangerous when we took it. At least these things don't gank us anymore. Yeah, the lighthouse was an interesting run. The monastery was an even more interesting run. TM.
Oh, yes.
Oh my gosh. Thunder God Sid is still wrecking parties to this day. And this is after he's been nerfed 3 times. Yes, Sid is evil. And note, this is not Airship Sid, this is Thunder God Sid. Different character. Oh, lordy.
And I'm sorry, that's still not Thunder God Sid either.
Me and the other healer, we almost did it. We were like picking up the rest of the raid by our twosome. It was kind of impressive.
Yep. Got him all the way down to what, about 2%?
Yeah, we would have had it if people hadn't released and got stuck behind the gate.
Yes. Let that be a lesson to them.
Yeah. Rena, Ladonia, thank you. I know it was only a matter of time before Aaron came around to reason, yet his hesitance to accept you was not entirely unfounded. When we first met, I promised you that one day I would share the tale of how white magic came to be regarded as a forbidden art. Well, I suppose this is as good a day as any for the telling. The tale began some 3 millennia ago with the fifth astral era. It was the time of the endless frost, when the barren wastes of snow and rime reached as far as the eye could see. Food was scarce, warmth scarcer. Histories hold that many a grim tale of those who died in their beds, starving and benumbed. So did our ancestors discover magic, born out of the most fundamental instinct, survival. In time, the winter thawed, and the magic was no longer essential for survival. But once awakened to its confidences, there was no returning to how things once were. Ere long, people discovered all the myriad ways in which magic could be employed, and civilization flourished. But prosperity breeds contempt, and nations warred for this power and riches. So did the people seek greater and greater power to rain destruction down upon their enemies, and so born black magic, the most devastating form of the sorcery the world had ever seen. At the same time, another form of magic emerged, brought forth by those who would keep the immense destructive powers in check. That is white magic, our magic. Does this surprise you? Just as there could be no dawn without night, white and black are but 2 sides of the same coin. War raged on, and magic was used and abused with little concern for the consequences. And the consequences there were. Unchecked use of magic soon dried the aether flow, threatening to bring blight on the land. The magic of healing? It made little difference. If used with no concern for the aether, our magic could prove as ruinous to the land as the most devastating black magic spell. And so it was that the practicing of white magic was forbidden, with one exception. The Pajal. Our kind were entrusted as the sole shepherds of this now forbidden art, to serve as healers and bringers of peace while ensuring that the great power would never again be misused. Though he is still young, Aaron feels this profound sense of responsibility as strongly as any of us. Thus his hesitance to accept you two. But having seen your abilities and sincerity in your intentions, you can rest assured his doubts have been dispelled. With the 3 of us united in place and purpose, and your skills ever growing, the day that we may perform the quieting draws near. To our fortune, the Great One has not yet entirely been consumed by fury, but our time remains short. To commune with the Great One and restore the 12's wood to its former state of harmony, we must truly be of one heart, one mind. It's to that end that HareBand has guided you to us, furthering your mastery of our art, Rena, Ladonia, and let us mend the wounds of the woods together. Woohoo! Cure 3.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now this is why I'm saying Cure 3 is kind of dangerous. Look at how much mana it consumes.
Yeah, 1,500.
It is an AoE centered on you. always on you. You cannot target it on someone else. Now, look at the yard radius.
30 yalms. Okay.
Actually, it's not the range, the radius.
Yeah, 60 or 6 yalms. Okay.
Now, look at
if it's always
Medica.
centered on you, hold on. If it's always centered on you, how does it have a range?
I have no clue.
15 yalms. Okay, yeah, relatively short range.
So it's relatively short range.
Cure potency 550.
Yeah, with a high cure potency, but it will eat your mana so fast, and 9 times out of 10, people will be outside that 6 yalm radius.
Yeah. Yeah.
Stares at you in Theron and Rylea.
Ranged person's job to be at range.
Everyone's bunching up in the center. Rylea's like way off in the corner.
Standing in the middle of an explosion.
So, what next? Probably UL'DAH stuff? For Black Mage and Gladiator? Or, Paladin?
Yeah, those are both inside of UL'DAH, so yeah. Now, let's double check. Yes.
Hunt target. So off to UL'DAH we go! I should probably port it, shouldn't I? I'm so used to just slow boating everywhere.
Sadly, it is slightly slower than it has been.
Yeah. But let's see, we've got these two. I'm going to hold on Pugilist/Monk for now. And then in Lumenza, we have Warrior and Ninja. Actually, they're both in Costa del Sol, but...
Right.
It is what it is. And of course, you're a little behind in Lancer, aren't you? But not by much.
Dragoon is at the very edge of 40. So I can do that as well.
What is Monk? Though Monk, I'm kind of holding to do it all at once. Okay, Pugilist
and
is
there's a level 41 quest behind us.
We will get to that.
Good, because, yeah, none of... well, Warrior is 42 and nothing else is 41 yet.
Yeah, I'm at White Mage 41 or 42, Paladin 41, Pugilist and Ninja at 40.
And I've got 3 40s and a 42.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
It looks like Baron went out, head to bed.
Yep.
Which is understandable. He got to bed really late last night. Apparently they got sucked into YouTube over at Carowin's place.
Yes.
I went to look up a tutorial on YouTube at 9 o'clock at night, and it's 3 in the morning, and why am I watching something about giraffes? Oh, they have announced the next live letter. I think it's like April 5th.
Okay.
And of course, the 13th is when the next patch drops, so that'll be whole new content for people to view. Ooh. New story. It'll be the last near raid that drops. And I think it'll also be the last of the Sorrows of Werlet that drops.
Right.
I fear that's going to end very ugly. Oh yay, load screen. That's taking a while.
Yeah.
Poof!
Where are we headed?
Do you want to do yours first?
If so, we're going the wrong way.
No, we're going the right way.
Oh, okay.
It's easier just to get to the center hub and then fan out from there. But if we're doing yours first, I'm going to switch to your monitor.
Ooh. See the world through the eyes of a bun. Oh, wait, we're already doing that. See the world through the eyes of a load screen.
Your system does take a while to load, doesn't it?
Sometimes. Today has definitely been one of those times. There we go. Let's see. And where are you?
I'm right behind you.
Ah. They're showing out of normal distance for some reason.
That's weird. I'm right behind you.
Eh. Okay, that's the one we want. There it shows.
I find it interesting. I'm like right on your tail on my monitor, and on yours I'm like way behind.
Mm-hmm. And now I wait for my quest giver to arrive.
Oh dear, she's not loading in?
Not yet.
Poof!
There we go. Well, UL'DAH? International Relations. UL'DAH has another task to strengthen your connection to the Black.
Ladonia, I see in your eyes the look of a woman prepared to take on the daunting responsibilities of a black mage. There are few who know our existence, even among those versed in the ways of magic. You will not even find mention of us in all but the most exoteric of texts. Yet the secrets of our dark art lies encrypted here, within the forbidden library of this sanctuarium. Master himself deciphered and read the text some 100 years past. It is said the first of our kind were favored by THAL, and it was he who entrusted them with the duty of sealing the void gates. But as you know, the power of the black lies in the great potential for destruction. The slightest errancy in it is used. Besides errancy in its use, may give rise to the most tragic of disasters. Of the disappearance of the black mages of Eorzea, Master only says, we must not repeat the errors of the past. Ladonia, Master has made known to me that what you must do next. Listen to his words now, with all of your being. The land has drunk deep of the blood you spilled, and by this act 3 souls of 3 races to Thanalan have come. The fires of our order once burned black and full, yet long ago were they left to wane and very nearly die. These 3 souls are the keepers of the embers that remains, all that we now are. In the hands of the ones who will usher our return, the gem of Shatoto, testimony of our creed, will shine with light, and by that light, the 3 keepers will be made your allies. An Amalja by the name of Kazak Cha awaits at Burgundy Falls in the east of Thanalan. Go to him. That is all. Dwell not on the fact that the Amalja is sworn enemies to UL'DAH. It is not your place to question Master's will, for it is the will of THAL himself.
I'll keep that in mind.
Go forth, Black Mage, and see the void gate sealed. Some blue mage decided they wanted to tank.
Apparently.
Yeah, that was a blue mage spell, which allows you to mimic the stats balance of those who would they target.
Well, they won't
It's
get
actually
much.
an interesting little spell.
Well, they won't get much thinking out of me.
No.
Hey. Yes, very magically, I'm getting myself balanced between white and black.
There we go. I am still on follow. Woohoo!
Mm-hmm. I'm glad they finally got that more or less fixed.
Yeah, it used to be every time you would oh, why'd you pop Lucy? I bet she wants to go for a ride. There we go.
Let's see. Yep.
Unfortunately, Baron has already logged for the evening. He was feeling really, really tired.
Yeah.
Considering he didn't get back from Caerdwin's until 1 in the morning, it's kind of understandable. Right now, we are on our way to Burgundy Falls. Woohoo!
Mm-hmm.
Which, of course, is like just 2 zones away. Because they never put these things out in the middle of a nice, easy, convenient place like a major city hub.
No.
Actually, there are a couple that are in major city hubs. This
But
is
you wouldn't
not
really
one
want
of
to be practicing black magic in the middle of UL'DAH.
Yeah, I think the Thaumaturgist Guild would be quite upset.
No, worse. They'd pester me until I told them all about it.
Maybe. Oh look, the Thaumaturgist went and summoned another demon again. Yay!
Yeah. Hey, stop it. And... Yep.
Yeah, Gladiator is mostly an UL'DAH to start with.
And of course, Paladin.
Right up. Yeah. Paladin being the Sultan Sworn.
And yeah, largely that one will be in UL'DAH.
And Summoner tends to be at the little Falls Lake area in the back of Old Gridania.
Yeah, well, Summoner?
Uh-huh. At Upcalla Falls.
Oh, I'm wanting to think of Scholar.
Yeah, Scholar is Slimza.
Yeah.
Up in the Warriors, or the Marauders Guild.
Okay, now I'm lost. Oh,
No,
okay.
you're heading in the right direction.
Come on.
See, this is what happens when you don't take Lucy out for rides regularly. She gets completely lost and turned around.
No,
Oh,
she just
wait.
tries to extend the trip. Hey, Kazug. Welcome, Viera, chosen of Kukuruka and bearer of the gem of Jatoto. By the gem's power do our paths cross once more. At last the time spoken of in the prophecy has come, and yet I know nothing of she who would guide us. Come, tell me your name. Ladonia Frith. I am Kazug Chad, a sorcerer of the Amalja, as were my forebears. I am the fourth of my line to walk this path, which brings me now to this land. As you well know, my kind bear the scorn of the Uldans. It is for that reason that I must remain here, far from the city walls. He has a point.
This one is mine. If I remember right, later on they actually say this is... Dozak Melok is actually female. Great power this one has. But enough, is it? Squat!
Kazuk-cha is terrifying to behold, yes, yes, but he is both wise and kind. Good, warm, kind. These are my brethren in the black, Ladonia, and now they are yours as well. Before you stand the Ixal, Dozal Malak, and the 269th Order Mendicant of the Kobolds, Daza. You have fed the ethereal currents with the blood of fiends. That the gem of Jatoto radiates as it does in your presence is proof of your deeds, and a sign of what must yet be done. It falls to me to bear witness to your awakening, and to pass on to you the knowledge entrusted to me. Know that you must face death before your promise can be fulfilled. It is to the Silent King in western Thanalan that you must next journey. There, too, lies a plainer fissure, and there, too, must you slake the land's thirst with the blood of fiends which surge forth from it. Long-winded. Fear not, each of us shall journey to the Silent King, and there convene once more. Seek out first the Ixal Dozal Melok, for your path is destined to first cross with his. When the deed before you is done, the gem of Jatoto will shine with new brilliance.
Well, you know where we're going, so might want to bring out Lucy again.
I vaguely know where we're going. Yeah, so from Central all the way across to Western. Yeah.
Yeah. They send you all over the place with this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I was originally playing through the game, I didn't care much for the beast tribes. One, because I felt like a lot of them had been hit upside the head with an ugly stick
Yeah.
to show how bestial they were. But actually, if you go in and play through them, particularly on the beast tribe dailies, it actually opens them up to, no, these are actually real society people, and
Except the kobolds.
that particular group of kobolds are just, ugh. Give
Yeah.
me the Mord any day.
Oh,
Holy
yeah.
moly. Why do the work when you can send someone else to do it for you?
And of course, half of what you're doing is sabotaging other groups so that they can't look more competent than those sad lot.
Low bar.
Yeah. Come on.
That's no. These kobolds wish they were middle management.
Yeah. As it turns out, the number and the order is actually like how far up the social ranking they are. And the group you're dealing with is the bottom rung.
Yeah, it's
And
the
kind of
bottom
determined
rung.
to stay there.
Can't get much lower, can they?
Yeah.
But like the Sahagin chain and the Sylph
Yeah.
chain and the
I need to finish the Sylphs. The Ixal one is good.
Yeah, the Ixal one is actually really good. You're dealing with a bunch of Ixals that have split off from the main group because they want to build an airship, dang it. It's their specialty. They know how to do it. So they're going to do it on their own so that they can get back to their homeland. Asla.
Or is this too far north?
No, you're fine. Follow the road.
Sure. Oh, yeah, okay, that is the right one.
The Emul'DAH actually was really good. It really redeemed a lot of the Emul'DAH in my eyes.
And I've yet to hit that one.
Yeah, that one was actually really well done. And then you have some of the cuter, crazier beast tribes.
The later
like
ones.
Muggles.
Yes. Okay, right up there.
The Muggles and the Namazu.
Yep.
And the quote-unquote dwarves.
And the Kirkin. Or not the Kirkin.
Oh yeah, can't forget the Kirkin.
Qatari.
That's right. Yeah, they actually haven't done anything with the Kirkin themselves.
No, they have not.
They've announced one beast tribe for the new expansion. I am predicting we'll also see more of the, it's not the Untitled, it's the thin lizard guys up in Outer Lanosea. Which initially came from the New World, the same place that Blue Magic comes from. And they came over in as mercenaries and then got stuck. To close Planar Fisher, strong black magic you need. You close, then come to Dozo Malak once more. Squawk!
No Kate
Kate,
Sith style race, though we do have Kate Sith.
yeah, we do have Kate Sith, who was a familiar to not Shitoto, but a contemporary black mage to Shitoto.
Yeah.
We do have the Lupin. We unfortunately do not get them as a beast tribe.
Not yet.
I really liked the Lupin. I wish they made those player race.
Yeah. Okay.
No, still need to close the fissure.
Right. Pour in the blood. Again. One X fissure.
Black? Kazakh spoke true. Black is strong with Ladonia. You go now. Go see Daza.
Oop. Wrong one.
Yeah, Kate Sith himself is part of the Mahak chain of Alliance raids in Heaven's Word. We will hopefully eventually get there.
That'd be nice. Okay. Oh, okay. It's in a little. I was thinking as further north. From the angle I originally got. Here lies the planar fissure, rift, tear, fissure. Use the power within you to seal it. And people should really not just have things like this lying around. Anybody could trip over them.
It's a Blinky! I think that's someone else's Aramon.
I think so.
Oh, and they got everybody!
They sure did. What did they do? Use Thunder 2? Well, it's their problem now. Fine.
Wow!
It is as Kazakh
standing there.
It is as Kazakh foretold. You are chosen, Ladonia. You must return to him now. Yes, yes. Return and tell Kazakh the deed is done. Ended. Over. Done.
Hiya, Lucy! Okay.
And, yeah, just the other side of this lake. You have done well, Ladonia, as I knew you would. Come, it is time now to return to Burgundy Falls.
Really?
Yeah.
Just gone straight there!
No, he had to tell me to go there first.
That's right, Lucy. Shake those tail feathers.
Mm-hmm.
I know Yoshi P has kind of announced that there will be no new races added into the game because it's just too much development work.
Yeah.
But I'm really hoping they at least come in and ungender lock
Yeah.
Viera and Hrothgar. Unlike most MMOs, the gender locking is purely visual. That's not ability or class bound. Thank
Yeah.
God. But I still think it was kind of an understandable but sad decision
Yeah.
that I don't exactly agree with. But we can hope.
Mm-hmm. Ah, dry bone.
Yes, dry bone. I know there's been a lot of speculation on the current, what the new melee DPS is going to be.
Mm.
All they've said is that it's going to be melee DPS. And a lot of people are kind of just spunning off, and I'm like, it'll be whatever they decide it will be. And they're purposely, apparently, trying to go out of their way this upcoming expansion to try and stump the player base.
Okay then.
They're purposely trying to subvert player expectations,
Mm-hmm.
which is interesting. Even though a lot of it's based around, FF4s when you go to the moon?
Ah.
I don't think I ever got that far in FF4.
Not sure. From the sounds of it, you'd gotten fairly far in.
Yes, Moon's haunted. Can't remember if it was 3 or 4. I know there's one that I got all the way to the end.
That was 3.
Oh god,
With
I
the
got all the way.
half-hour boss sequence at the end that you couldn't get through.
Yeah.
That was 3. Ladonia of the Black, you return to me victorious. The gem of Jotaro burns bright. You are indeed the heiress to a dark and ancient power, as Kukuruka foretold. I am reminded of a prophecy my great-grandfather uttered long ago. When 4 magi meet in a barren land, black powers of eld woven by their hand shall see the fate of wickedness made stark, and the path to light shall be lit by dark. The black powers of eld require no explanation, and know that wickedness refers to the evil birthed by the void. That the seal holding the void gates shut will falter and fail is beyond a doubt. And your deeds speak of determination and ability, and in them I spy hope. I have learned all of you that I must. I bestow upon you the knowledge kept by my line. Here and now I speak an oath to discard old grudges. By our power combined, the Void Gate will be sealed anew. You have brought this old amalgam much happiness. Few believe the words of my great-grandfather. He was mocked and ridiculed, and worse, ignored. Yet your coming has fulfilled the prophecy he spoke. Ladonia, that dark magic coursing through you shares a deep bond with the Void Gate. Should that portal be cast open, you will come to great peril. Temper yourself in both mind and body. When you are ready, return to this land and seek me out once more. Then, and only then, will I speak to you of your next task. And, Blizzard 3. Woohoo!
Yeah, that is a really important spell for a Black Mage.
Oh, good lord, yes! I can finally switch modes properly. I have both Vulpixes.
And now we're off for Paladin Quest?
Yes. Today, my ability bar looks a little bit more like Raylia's.
It would be actual 3, not the North American.
Yes. Yeah, the actual 3, which was not brought over here originally. We didn't get into the FF series until around the time of Tactics and 8, really. So anytime we give numbers, it will be the true numbers and not the North American release numbers. Because we weren't really around for that stage.
Yeah, I gotta keep in mind, we're very much hardcore PC gamers, so getting a hold of any console stuff is nigh impossible for us.
Well, not so much these days, but yeah. And especially not since you can get, like, 4 and 6 and so on Steam.
Mm-hmm.
I do wish they'd do proper remake/ports of 5 and 6, including, upgraded soundtracks. Now, they did the first 4 for Wonder Swan, and basically everything after that are ports of that version, which is what has the 3D models, which is okay, and a much better than NES and SNES quality soundtrack.
Mm-hmm.
And 5 and 6 have never gotten that treatment, and those soundtracks could use it, especially 6's.
Yeah, I'm still kind of hoping for them to get 7R onto PC.
Presumably it will. I'm a little concerned that it might be an Epic Games exclusive, like Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 ended up being.
Yeah, but isn't
Or is
that
3?
I think it's 3. Yeah, it's an Epic Store, I believe, timed exclusive. It won't be there exclusive forever. But
Let's hope so. They did not say in the announcement.
Everyone knew that was coming for a while.
Well, I hadn't known that it was coming to Epic.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I hadn't, at least.
Well, considering it's based on the Unreal 4 engine, I wouldn't be surprised if they put that in as a stipulation.
Yeah, I figured it'd come out on PC. The Epic Games bit was surprising for me. Yeah, we originally played 7 and 8 basically in the Eidos PC port. Of course, before that we'd played tactics on a PC PlayStation emulator done by a company that I worked for, testing said emulator, actually.
Yeah, that's how you discovered it, is he tested it there, said, hey, this is actually a pretty good game, brought it home and said, here, try this!
Well, basically, I got hired on to help with the testing to make sure the emulator did everything right. And the first day, I basically come in, and then they're in the last stages of putting together a new PC. They were primarily a Mac company. So they'd released the Mac version, and they were getting an extra person or two, me, to help test the PC version, which was next. And so, they're at the last stages of assembling a PC. Basically asked, you know how to install Windows? Yeah. Well, do so. You'll have this Mac to access our bug database, and here's where you basically install our PC test thing. And you go on ahead.
Okay.
Power struggles. Captain Jinlins has another lesson to teach you. Oh, right, this is going to largely be me, isn't it?
Yes.
Welcome, Paladin. You should know that word of your deeds has reached me. Few are those who follow the true Paladin path without misstep, but you are one of them. I am proud to call you sister. As I try to click through. You have kept the faith, and in return I must have faith in you. It is time that you knew the truth, though it is hard to share. For a time I would rather keep hidden from outsiders. For it is a shame I would rather keep. Perhaps you remember when I told you of the traitor and the sword Oathkeeper that he stole. His name is Solkazgal, and he was my predecessor as captain of the Sultan's Sworn Elite. Yes, he was the same man whom I had admired as a child, who inspired me to take up the sword and follow the way of the Paladin. He was the paragon of paladins, till, that is, he changed. Some years ago now, there was a struggle for influence between the Sultanate military and a faction within the syndicate known as the Monetarists. The latter emerged triumphant, and the army's authority was diminished dramatically. Although Solkazgal was still captain of the Sultan's Sworn Elite, he knew his position was perilous, so he fled, taking Oathkeeper with him. In so doing, he went against the words that had been spoken on bended knee before his royal liege. Now it falls to me, as captain, to restore the honor and name of the Sultan's Sworn. If that means cutting down my former mentor and master, I would do it gladly, for his misdeed cannot be forgiven. But his death will not lift the stain that mars our name. He must be put on trial in a public court so that everyone knows his crimes. Then, and only then, can we begin to earn the people's trust again. He served for over 30 years as captain of the Sultan's Sworn Elite, and he is a formidable foe. Few can match his skill with a sword. Even together, you and I will find it difficult to take him alive without mortal harm to one side or the other. So you must continue to hone your skills and prepare for the day when we will face him. To complete the next stage of your training, you must do this. Go to the Urgram River in eastern Thanalan and find a brazier we have placed there. By lighting it, you will draw the ire of the Lepidotes dwelling within the waters. Face the creatures in battle and master your new skills. The fight will not be easy, but if you take to heart what you've learned and let the crystal be your guide, you will triumph.
Okie dokie.
Mm-hmm. And back with my story, took the system, installed Windows 98 second edition. First time I'd seen second edition. Boy, that was a big improvement.
Actually, we want
and installed and got everything up and running, and they're basically going, okay, at the moment we don't have anything particular for you to do. Here's the cabinet of games we have for testing. Pick a few out, figure out how the software works, all of that. Knock yourself out. So I grabbed like 3 or 4 things, went through a couple of them, grabbed a couple more, and a couple of them were like RPGs and such. I'd probably recognize them if I saw them again. And one of them was this, one disc kind of RPG looking thing. Okay, yeah. This is kind of neat, and started getting into it, and that was Final Fantasy Tactics. And like half an hour into it, one of the other guys just kind of stuck his head in and go, "You know how to play that?" Well, I'm figuring it out.
It's actually a pretty good game.
Yeah. And despite the fact that I had no way to play my own copy at that point, I ended up buying a used copy when me and coworkers went down to the nearest game store. Said, yeah, sure, I'll buy a copy, just in case I can pick up some way of playing it later. One of the most fortuitous purchases of my life, because that was basically as it was going out of print and the price started climbing, because they didn't reprint Tactics for years.
Well, it was an actual soft cult hit, and one of the things is that it's the kind of best non-numbered Final Fantasy game out there that everyone's like, no, we consider this part of the main series, and Square's like, what? Really?
Yeah. I really wish things like Distant Worlds and A New World would include tactics pieces in their repertoire.
Probably rights issues. That might change now that the Tactics group is back with Square Enix.
I don't think it's rights. I don't think it's rights issues. It's just they're very, decidedly we're just going to stick with the numbered ones. I mean, they don't even do 10-2.
Of which, the Tactics crew, the main development people, and I believe the music crew as well.
Well, the music crew's kind of been with them for a while because, of course, Soken also who's the main one of the 2 composers in Tactics, was the composer for 12.
Yep. But the thing is that the entire crew is back doing a new game. You can actually download a demo of it on the Switch if you have one. It's called Triangle Tactics.
That's not quite right, but yeah. And I need to get back to that.
Yeah, Triangle Tactics is the working name. That's not the official end name of the...
Yeah. And even so, I don't think that's quite right for the working name either. It looks interesting. I will say, bring a snack if you get into it, because the intro, before you hit any real game content, for giving story and so on, is long. The one time I looked at it, it was, I'll spend a couple minutes on it at the end of lunch, and no, that.
Sorry.
Did you go the wrong way?
I went the wrong way. It's either Triangle Tactics or Tactics Triangle. And it's on the Switch demo store. I believe it's actually
supposed it's Triangle Strategy.
Yeah, that's it. Triangle Strategy.
Yeah, I knew that was off. That's the, Triangle Tactics is always the name you give it, and it's not what the name is, which is why it took me so long to find it the first time.
Well, I'm so stuck for them always having Tactics as part of the name. I mean, Final Fantasy Tactics.
Yeah.
Tactics Ogre.
Which was the same team.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, Triangle Strategy is the one that is the current demo. came out last month, just about a month ago. Technically, it's Project Triangle Strategy.
Yes, Tactics Ogre, it was the same team. They did Tactics Ogre, and Square looked at them and said, "We like what you're doing," and then bought them out.
Yeah, basically cockroached the team. And I will say, FFT is basically what convinced me, yes, you can really do good console games. Don't look now, but there's weapons in here.
You think?
You want any help?
Nah, I got this.
Here, have a Thunder 2. Nope. Don't have a Thunder 2, you killed my target too fast.
See, I don't need your help. Peeps is helping quite fine enough as is. So that's why you're correct, Live Swing, but that's why I keep wanting to say it's triangle tactics, because I'm so used to having them tactics everything.
Yep. And I will admit, because I believe the statute of limitations is over, I did an illegal thing at the end of that job. Because the
Peeps,
software I was working with was Virtual Game Station. And basically, right as I got hired, Sony sued them over it. Sony was pissed at the idea that there were emulators for the PlayStation. And they had and basically they were claiming trade secrets. Connectix, the people who did the software, was claiming backwards engineering. There were 13 counts in the court case that were in dispute, and I had a 3-month contract. The 3-month contract expired, and they couldn't keep me on because the software was basically under injunction. They couldn't sell it, so they couldn't do the PC version, and they'd gotten it about as far as they could without, actually putting it into production.
If I remember right, they really wanted to keep you. They just couldn't find a reason to.
Yeah, they wanted to keep me. For one thing, there was among the testers, there was something of a dearth of people willing to take on the bigger, longer games like the RPGs. There was one guy who, with this being the late-ish PlayStation era, you'd expect that if I was going through some of the RPGs, I might actually have tested, say, 7 and 8. No. There was one guy on the team where those were his baby.
You couldn't get your hands on them to test them.
Yeah, because he did all the testing. And admittedly, apparently, they needed a lot of emulator work. There were problems with them.
This does not surprise me, because those particular games had problems in general.
And I think... I can't remember. Anyway, so... I with the injunction going on and everything, I did do an illegal thing. I did actually carry out a copy of the program in my pocket and kept it very, very, very carefully under wraps in this household, and it never left this household.
But this is why I got to play Tactics on a PC.
Yeah. And then eventually I did get a legal copy. Basically a year later, the court case was still going on. Of the 13 counts, 12 had been dismissed. with only one count still under contention, and the injunction had been lifted. So they were starting to sell it, and for my work on it, they gave me a copy. Which I can't use. At some point, I should break out the Windows 7 virtual machine stuff and see if I can get it to happen. Because the moment it sees something that is NT or NT related, which everything from 2000 on is, it says, nope, I will not even try to install.
Oh.
But since I have Windows 7 Pro still, which has XT mode, which turns out to basically just be a free copy of Virtual PC. Same company, by the way. Microsoft loved them, as opposed to Sony, who hated them. Basically, it's a copy of Virtual PC with, for it being XP mode, a free copy of XP to put into it. Now, if you have a copy of something else, and I still have a copy of 98 SE somewhere around, I should be able to use that to create a Windows 98 virtual machine and install it on that. And then I just transfer the files over to or off of the virtual drive onto the real hard drive, tell it to run in Windows 98 emulation mode, and see what happens. I've never quite had the gumption to get around to trying it.
And then your machine explodes.
Most likely not. And I've taken a look at some of the other PlayStation emulators around, and none of them are nearly as easy to use. Good. You've mastered your new skills and made them your own. But much work remains to be done before you can face the traitor Sukazgal. We're close to finding him, and as our net draws tighter, it grows ever more important that we make ready for the moment when the fish must at last be landed.
Woohoo! New AoE skill!
Live Swing, yes, Bleem was a direct competitor to the software I was doing. Came out slightly after.
By the way, we won't be able to get to it.
No.
You got put in the wrong bar. You need to go here. Well, I'm heading towards the quicksand. Because it's about that time.
Yes, yes
there
it is.
There is actually a call-out in FF14 to Tactics Ogre.
Yes.
We will be hitting that with the buns. But it'll be a little bit. Because you need to be about level 50 to really make it work.
And I have to say, one of the interesting things with like the eventual release of the PC version of Virtual Game Station is I know they did a little more patching. One of them was actually for FF Tactics to fix a late game breaking bug, and I'm going, what late game breaking bug? I played through the entire game with the pre-patched version and it didn't have a problem.
Oh dear. Did you actually tell them that?
No. I wasn't going to tell them I'd snuck a copy out of the office. Because I hadn't gotten into the late game yet when the 3 months were over.
Whoops. Anyway, thank you very much for joining us this evening. It was awesome to have you along. Next week for Sundays, we will be continuing our Great Class Quest grind with Ninja and Warrior, and then get back onto main story quest. Knock on wood.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, next Saturday we will be starting Heaven on High from the bottom. They really wanted us dead.
9 floors of murder.
Murder and mayhem.
And it wasn't us doing the murdering.
No, it wasn't. However, it does look like HareDwin is actually streaming, so I'm going to throw a raid to him from here. Thank you very much for coming.
You're going to send a bunch of people over to eat all his cookies before they're baked.
Yes. You guys have a great night. Have a safe week, and I really hope we can see you next week.
Yeah, everyone have a great week.
Good night, all.